Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday night for us, Wednesday morning for you guys. That means Bible study tonight. Every single Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we have Bible study. Obviously, you're welcome to come if you're local at 500 9th Street, Modesto, California. And if not, as you guys know, we always go and stream it online, whether on Facebook or YouTube. And but here we are, and I didn't do a devotion yesterday because I didn't realize that I don't have my laptop on me, and my tripod is at the church, and because I didn't have my laptop, because if I had my laptop, I could do devotional with the webcam, and if my tripod that holds my phone is in the church, I'm just like, how am I gonna do it? So I didn't do it yesterday because I didn't have no way to prop my phone up. And I completely forgot about this tripod. So I walked by the table today and I see this tripod with the phone holder on it. And I'm like, this has been here this whole time. So I'm like, well, let's do a devotional. And what else? It's been an interesting week. We're going to be going to Oceanside to our yearly annual Grace International Regional Conference. In April is the international conference in Houston, but usually it's in October, but now it's this coming next week, Monday and Tuesday. It's a regional, which is all the California churches, Nevada churches, and Arizona churches. And so it's something we look forward to, and we always look forward to it. We always go to the same hotel. We book as many rooms as we can because we try to invite as many people that are able to come, and so that's coming up. So really excited about that. And man, it's for those of you that have me on social media, Instagram or Facebook, you keep noticing me putting the before and after pictures of our dinners. Guys, the whole time we were working on the church, 2.5 months or so? I don't know how long it was. Was it 2 months? Yeah, maybe 2 months or 2 months and some change. It has, as you guys know, I'm not going to go into the whole story all over again about morning to night to morning to night. So, man, it was a lot of times where by the time we would stop working, all that was left open to eat was like Denny's or fast food, and that stuff's okay, but after a while it gets really tiring, just constant fast food, and because it's like hardly did we ever go sit down and eat somewhere, because first of all it's expensive, second of all we didn't have the liberty to go and sit somewhere for an hour and a half, because we had an agenda to get the church done. So a lot of times somebody would make a run, go get Jack in the Box or Taco Bell or this or that, and man, that stuff makes you feel horrible. I mean, as you know, I love to ride my bike and stuff, and I was not able to ride my bike in all of those weeks. Like, I was riding my bike all the way up to the day we got the keys, and it was over after that. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm actually thinking of riding my bike in the morning. But so we kind of made this little pact in our family here that we're going to eat seafood the whole week. We love seafood, and it's light. It's light, and it's good and nutritious, and so we're just like, we're just so tired of hamburgers and fries, and just, so we're trying to get creative, and it's funny because at first you would think that, oh man, how you gonna eat seafood all week? It's expensive. It's expensive when you go to restaurants, but in actuality, like yesterday, I'm gonna show you a couple of the pictures of some of the things that we've been eating. So see that first thing, that is a crawfish quesadilla. The second thing is aguachile, which is basically raw shrimp cooked in lemon. And the third one is salmon. And so, oh, sorry. So I've been posting like these before and after pictures, and I'll find like the actual like it says a shrimp. I'll find on Google like a live shrimp and show that picture, and then the after is when it's cooked, or salmon, and then when it's cooked. But what's funny is that not funny, but what's interesting is that we realized like we went and bought the shrimp for the aguachile, and it literally came out cheaper between me, Abraham, Sharon, I think Matthew ate. Um, it came out so much cheaper than had we gone to McDonald's. That's crazy, right? Because you go to McDonald's and I think a meal, maybe $11, I think, 11, $12. And it's like, comes out to about $52 for four people. And that's McDonald's, guys. I mean, how much more unhealthy can you get than that? And fries and a soda. And we ate like straight up shrimp, really good shrimp. And it was $5 a bag. That's it. And we bought a couple bags. Like, so it's a trip because a lot of times we think something's expensive. But when we say that, we're thinking restaurant wise. But when you eat at home, you know, same thing with the crawfish. Like it was a little bag like this of crawfish, and it was like $13.99 a bag, and that bag fed all of us. You know, and because then you put the cheese in the little tortillas for the quesadillas, and everybody ate. Everybody got full. You know, and man, my leg keeps hitting this tripod. So, anyways, and then the other day, I think it was Saturday, we went and got fish. Didn't take a picture of that. And again, a whole lot. It was like $32, and it fed one, two, three, four, five of us. $32. And again, McDonald's would have been $52 to feed four. I'm talking about four like meals. Crazy. So, anyways, yeah, we're on this seafood week. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is there's something that I posted, and I can't. Man, I wish I could read it, but I can't because I'm using my phone to record this. But basically, Abraham modified my pulpit. It's not a new pulpit. That if you go back a month and look at the pulpit, it's the same one. But if you notice, it has like the shape of a cross. So I asked him, I said, hey, can you fill that cross in with a wood cross so it pops more? And then he had the idea of, because we had this piece of metal there at the church that was left behind from the previous church. And he goes, why don't I cut that metal and weld it to that and then put the wooden cross? And I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So he did it. He cut that piece of metal, welded it on there, put the wooden cross in there. Well, we painted the whole thing, all the same color, and then put the cross on it. And man, it looks good. But anyways, I think that Saturday night, so I took a picture of it because he did a really great job, you know. And I posted a picture of it, and I said something like this. I wish I could quote it better. I don't remember exactly how it said, but basically I had said something to the effect of the weight of that calling. Man, I guess I'm tired. The weight of that calling will break any man if they are not truly called. And I was talking about standing behind the pulpit or preaching, not behind the pulpit, but the weight of pastoring. I said, and and it is only through Christ. And I wanted to kind of talk about that because I think it goes along with a lot of things. I remember sister sister Sonia and JD. They're members of our church, but they moved to Texas, and they used to do marriage counseling. And my understanding, their style of marriage counseling was when a new couple would come to them, they would try to convince them not to get married. And the understanding behind that is, if somebody can talk you out of it, then you're not meant to be married. And it goes with the same thing with pastoring. That if somebody says, well, I want to preach, I want to pastor, I want to evangelize, or I want to do this or do that. Right, I haven't yawned, and all of a sudden I hit record and I'm yawning. But in the same way, if someone can talk you out of your ministry that you believe that God has called you for, if somebody can talk you out of it, then maybe you were never called. And that's just the blunt truth of it. Think about, let's think about some, in a secular sense, some worldly people. Imagine trying to talk Bruce Lee out of fighting or practicing martial arts. Imagine talking Tupac out of writing lyrics. Imagine, I could go on and on. Imagine convincing Mike Tyson that he shouldn't fight, or Michael Jordan that he shouldn't play basketball. Do you really think, can you even imagine that? And most of you will be like, no, I can't imagine a Bruce Lee that doesn't practice martial arts, or a Tupac that doesn't rap, or a Mike Tyson that doesn't fight, or Michael Jordan that doesn't play basketball. That seems ludicrous. Well, think about it, those are temporary worldly things. How much more should a calling of God, preaching, ministry, evangelizing, prophecy, whatever it is, how much more should that be a part of you that you can't turn it off? I consider myself a creative person. I'm not the best. I know I was creative in my music and my rap lyrics, but I know I wasn't the best. I'm creative in my writing, I think, but there's no way I'm the best. There's way million better authors than me. I can be creative in my paintings, but I'm not blind. I know there's artists that are a million times better. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I do understand that I'm a creative person. And I used to think, like, even back in the day, I would write rap songs, I'd produce music, I would write a book, I would, have a story, I would, and I actually thought that those are all different things, but in actuality, it's not. It was one thing. It was just creativeness. It was art, whether it's art of painting, or the art of putting a song together, or the art of writing a story in a book form, or it's all the same thing. It stems from the same thing. And it's the same thing with preaching, whether or whatever it is you're called to do. It's like it's going to seep out of you. If it's a true gift and a true calling, it's going to seep out of you. But when you try to force it, that very thing that you think is a gift or a calling will break you. That's my point. It will break you and destroy you. I remember hearing stories of, like, for instance, Tupac. When he got out of prison, he got in the studio and just dropping song after song after song after song, and I am in no way comparing myself to Tupac, but there's a lot of similarities. A lot of times people would laugh when they would ask me to perform a song or do this, and I'm like, I don't even know my lyrics, and they would think I was joking, or they'd think I was trying to get out of it. And I said, but in actuality, the reality is that I didn't know my lyrics because I would write my songs and record them, and then write a song and record it, and write a song and record it and release it, write a song, record it and release it, and I didn't have time to sit there and learn the song. It was, and you know what's funny is I didn't even think of this till right now, guys. Those of you that watch me, how do I write my sermons? In case you don't know, I write them on Saturday night, so they're fresh on Sunday morning. And a lot of times I'm like, what did I just say? I have like 5 bullet points, and I preach for 40 minutes. And I'm just like, Lord, you already had this gift. You had me marinating in it, even with my rap music, because I wouldn't have time to think. I would just write it and spit it and release it. And that's a trip. I never thought of that till right now. But, whatever God has called you to, if it feels forced, then make sure that is your calling. Because a lot of times other people will put what they want you to do and push you to do what they want you to do. But that's not even where you feel led to. And like, for instance, there's some churches that evangelism is the number one priority, and I am in no way taken away from evangelism. But there's churches where, let's say, evangelism is their number one thing, so they want to make every person that comes into that church an evangelist. They're like, you got to be preaching, you got to get a bullhorn, you got to scream from the rooftops, you got to, and so they want to create an entire congregation of evangelists. And I think that a lot of people struggle with that, and then so they do it, but they do it half-hearted, and then they think and feel guilty because why are they not passionate about it? And then it feels like a burden. Well, maybe it's a burden because that's not your calling. And I was made to feel like that, and that's why I share that. And I remember I was in Terminal Island in federal prison, and the brothers would evangelize every Saturday. And I know you're asking, like, what do you mean evangelize? You're in prison. Because on Saturday, see, everybody had jobs in there. Some people had a 2-hour-a-day job. Some had a full-time 8-hour job. It depended, what you were going to do and what crew you were part of. And some of those guys doing electrical, they were making lockers. There was like basically a factory in there. So people were busy during the week. They had their job, then they had breakfast and lunch, and then they had dinner, and then they got to go take a shower. But Saturday, pretty much everyone had a day off, and everybody's in the yard, and that's the time and the moment when you can evangelize. So the group would meet on Saturday morning, maybe 10 or 11, I don't remember what time, and they would pray, sing a couple worship songs, and then they would all break off into twos and evangelize. And I would never go. I think I went once or twice, and I just wasn't feeling it. And so I would just stay in, and I did that for about a month, and then the brothers got together, and they basically had an intervention for me because they thought something was wrong with me because I wouldn't evangelize, and they basically called me on it. And at first I felt guilty because I'm like, man, Lord, maybe I don't love you the way they do. Or am I ashamed of you? Or am I ashamed to boldly proclaim your name? Because that's how these brothers made me feel. And it wasn't until that day when they basically called me out on it. And they're like, Brother David, we got to talk with you. And I think somebody had told me, so I had a feeling, and I just took it to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, what's wrong with me? Maybe I don't love you the way they do. And the Lord reminded me that Monday through Friday, I think it was sometimes 3 guys, sometimes 4 guys. Every day I was meeting separately to give them Bible studies. I'll meet a brother like at after breakfast. I think like at 7 till 8 we had a Bible study, and then another brother 8 to 9 for Bible study, and then I would think I would have lunch, and then I'd meet somebody else between lunch and dinner for a Bible study, and then we would have service at night on the yard. And the Lord said, "Why are you feeling guilty? You're not an evangelist. You're a teacher, and you're doing exactly what I want you to do." And so when I went out there to talk to them, and they basically got on me, they're just like, we don't know what's wrong with you, because, we don't know what it is. Or they basically got on me. And I remember sharing that with them. I'm like, brothers, I said, no disrespect, but where are you guys at on Monday through Friday at 7? And they all had their different answers. Where are you at 8 to 9, Monday through Friday? And they all had different answers. Where are you at this time? Or where are you at that time? And they all had different answers. I said, the reason I asked, because every one of those hours, I'm out here with brother so-and-so pouring into him. And then in this time, I'm pouring into so-and-so. And this time, I'm pouring into so-and-so. And on this time, I'm pouring into myself. I'm studying myself. I got to learn myself, because I know that I will never have time like I have here when I get out and I know what God is calling me to do. And I have to prepare myself. And it was then that the burden of evangelizing, the heaviness of it, left me. And I don't mean it's bad to evangelize. I mean, it became a burden to me. And it was crushing me. Do I like to evangelize the chances I do get a chance to go out with the group? Yeah, it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. Is it my passion? No, it's not. There's passions in ministry that Sharon has that I don't share with her. I do them with her because it brings her joy, but it's not my passion, and vice versa. Because the things that are not a passion of mine, I can't force it. Because if I do, it then becomes a burden. And ministry should never be a burden. Now, is there hard times? Don't get hard times and burden mixed up. It can be hard pastoring a church. It's not easy. It's not easy unto itself already. Imagine on top of that trying to do it and you're not even called to do it. That will crush you. And that's why I put the picture of the pulpit. It was my example of that. Because when you're truly called to something, it's just going to flow out of you. Because that's what God instilled in you. So I just wanted to share that, guys. Yeah. Oh, great. Now I'm going to start having hiccups. Yawning hiccups. I don't know what's wrong. Anyways, guys, hopefully you join us for Bible study tonight, 7 o'clock, every single Wednesday. If you haven't came to see the new location, please come. There's not only is there our Sunday service at 10, but at the same time in our second sanctuary, there's youth service. Your child, your teenager, bring them to experience something different. It's a whole different sanctuary. So while you come into our sanctuary where we're at, your youth can go over there, and it's catered toward the youth. So they're going to have a lot more fun. And when they're having more fun, their ears are more open to receive, because they're not, the people I'm asking to share the word, I'm not telling them, hey, don't entertain these kids. Give them gospel. But at the same time, we want to cater in a way where they will open their ears to hear what the Spirit is saying to the church. And we have classrooms, so if you have children and if you hesitated coming to church before at House of Rest because of the lack of classrooms, well, that's not a problem anymore. We have a room for a nursery for new mothers. We have a toddlers class. We have a children's class, and then we have our youth. There's something for everyone in the family. So, but yeah. All right, guys. God bless you. Thank you so much. Hopefully, if you like this content, you have subscribed. Please subscribe. If you have subscribed, then hit like if you like this content, or leave a comment or share it. Doing those things helps the algorithm of YouTube, so they suggest these types of content to other people that are maybe interested in Christian content. So anyways, guys, God bless you. Thank you so much, and see you for Bible study. Bye.